The 5 most dramatic Tudor deaths. Robert Devereux, Earl of Essex. Once Elizabeth I's great favourite, his fall was utterly devastating to the old Queen. Essex led a rebellion against the Queen's government that failed, and he was sentenced to death. He was executed upon Tower Hill, but it took 3 blows of the axe to dispatch him. The crowds gathered watched in horror, as they had great affection for the young man. Mary, Queen of Scots. After nearly 19 years of imprisonment, Mary's execution was deeply controversial. On the day, the execution did a terrible job. The first blow missed her neck and struck the back of her head. The second blow almost did it. Then he had to hack away a 3rd time to eventually do it. When he picked up the head, it fell away, thumping to the floor, as Mary secretly wore a wig. To top off the horror of the whole event, a little dog was hiding beneath her skirts, drenched in her blood. Margaret Pole, Countess of Salisbury. Margaret was 72, but Henry still felt his old cousin and her family were a threat to him. On Tower Green, when faced with a low block, she refused to kneel down. She refused as she wasn't a traitor. What followed was a brutal mess, with the inexperienced executioner having to try and pin her down and hack at her neck where he could. Ultimately, it took 10 or 11 blows to kill her. Thomas Cromwell. Cromwell had orchestrated some of the most famous deaths of Henry's reign, including Anne Boleyn's, but he also fell foul of Henry in the end. After the mess that was the marriage of Anne of Cleves, Cromwell fell from favour. He was arrested mid-meeting, imprisoned with no trial, and sentenced to death. Supposedly, there are conflicting reports, and his end was terribly botched. It took multiple blows to finally remove his head, with Cromwell dying in agony. Francis Dereham, accused with Catherine Howard and sentenced to death along with her and Thomas Culpeper. Whereas Catherine and Thomas had the axe, Dereham was to be hung, drawn and quartered. The full traitor's death. His body was mutilated while he was still likely alive, his entrails burned before him for all the world to see. His head was placed on London Bridge as a warning to others, with Catherine likely seeing it whilst journeying down the Thames to her own death.